Yes. I thought I did that earlier. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day, as you can see. Long week. Not a long week. I mean, shit, the year just started. But I'm excited for the year. I think it's gonna be a great year. I'm trying to I want 100 million, not gonna lie, but I settle for 30 million for the year. So I'm not doing shit with nobody until we get there. You know what I'm talking about? Um oh, that's not even me, actually. Hang on. That's not me marking it up. I think that's one of y'all mark it up. I thought I was losing my mind. Hang on. I don't know how to. Well, it's fine because this is gonna be fine. So now that it's recording, let me start over. Not start over, but we're just gonna go over the way that I used to trade back in the beginning of my trading journey, which was 2017, 18, 19. My first million came from 2019. The four pairs that put me across the threshold was actually gold, USD MXN for the Mexican peso, USD ZAR, and then GBP right? So the way that I did that, made my first million was through intraday trading. So you can say, the day trading, being in and out of the market every single day. But it was coming from a place of scarcity because, I was the first one in my family that's ever made $1 million. So at the same time, I'm not knowing how long it's going to last because I've never seen anything like that before. So I'm thinking I wouldn't be here like I'm here now, 8 years into the future. No one knows the future, and that's part of trading. Of you got to be okay with not knowing because I could have very well been homeless also, and you never knew I could have failed at trading if I, was a person that didn't actually put the work in. Like I know that everybody that's here with me on Saturday ain't nothing more important to you than your trading journey because like ultimately finances run this entire world and people can say all they want how money's not important, but money will solve 90% of people's problems. You know what I'm talking about? So at the end of the day, you don't like people shouldn't have that love for money, but they should love that money can be used as an asset, right? So just like there's different ways to work out and lose weight, there's also different ways to make money to trade. The way that I made my first million back then, 2019, was by intraday trading, and then I'm making money faster this go around because I've been, I have the experience under my belt of the 8 years, and for the 8 years of the six of them, I've been trading the same way every single day, every single week, and I teach everybody else, the same way that I've been trading. So consistency and patience is really that's going to make the difference between traders, right? Just like people that work out, they are how do you say? I feel like people that work out have the most potential in changing their life because they already have that obsession with changing their body, if that makes sense. So if you're able to change your body and use your imagination to see what body type you want, because when I work out, I'm really you can't target certain areas, but you can feel the muscle that you're trying to work out, right? That's how trading is. And in this case, the muscle that we're working out is going to be our brain and also our heart because I know that people be damn near having strokes when I'm sitting here in a 14-day swing and they've never held over an hour before. I completely get it. It's understandable because I used to be them. I intradayed my way all the way to $1 million, but at any point in time, I could have blew that fucking account. So every day that I survive trades in the market, because I want to see how far we could go too. But that's us working that muscle out of we getting used to the anxiety that it takes. I'm sure some of y'all, shit, I can't believe I woke up. I probably woke up this morning and I saw, cause we had like 60 positions last night. Them motherfucking positions was fucking gone when I woke up. I'm like, you stupid bitches. Because I'm talking about the market looks so good. And we still in it. I woke up and we had less entries, but we were still floating down near the same amount of money, if that makes sense. I just couldn't believe 56 entries was gone because I only slept for a few hours. Like, damn, I can't go to sleep because I promise you, I slept all week and it's been fine. We've been, alive. I've been sleeping for 2 weeks. We've been alive the entire time. So why the fuck I decided to get some good ass sleep last night and 56 entries was gone. Thank God the whole account wasn't blown because it's not like we can get those 2025 entries back. But that's where I am. I quite literally want. Oh, I forgot my camera's not on. I guess that would help. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so Is this shit still not recording? Oh, it's recording. Okay, I'm tripping. I'm not. I thought I was losing my fucking mind because this shit was recording and I finished 2 hours. Then them niggas just went to see it. I'm not gonna hold you. But so it's we just working on muscles. People, I've always believed that, and it's like me personally. I have not always been good at working out and losing weight. Right? I think the first time I got a personal trainer was in 20. It was like 2021. And I used to wake up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning with her. And I don't know how I did it because my body cannot get up before 10 at this point in life. Because I mean, I guess it's because I do stay up to about 5, 6 sometimes, but even if I don't stay up to about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not getting up before 10. I don't know what's wrong with my body, but it actually works out. I feel like my body's probably in sync with the market because I've noticed the last 2 weeks too, the entries going into the market for entries is coming later in London session. You know what I'm talking about? Last night, and that's what I'm saying, patterns and habits rule everything because last night was the first time in 2 weeks London session has actually given that low entry, if you've noticed. But I'd be watching that kind of stuff, even if it seems like, positions are going and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking out for. I'm watching the patterns because me watching for the patterns isn't something necessarily that I have to say. But, we for the rules of uptrend, it's higher lows, higher highs, downtrends, it's lower lows, lower highs. But just like people, some people that work out, they want to, how do you say, like me personally, I'm better at weights. Like I swear to God, I could run 1,000 miles and won't lose nothing. But I can barely lift a 40 pound weight 100 times and then 50 pounds will fall off. You know what I'm talking about? But that's my body type. I guess you know what I mean. But nothing's wrong with cardio or lifting. People have had success doing both, and even when it comes to say cardio versus weightlifting or the type of workouts that you do, like say, oh, that's what I needed. This right here, the RDL. So they have when I first started working out, and well, I've always worked out because I played sports, right? But when I started working out as an adult, like with a trainer and everything, because she was working me like I was a slave. Wide stance RDL. I'm sorry, I cannot type and talk. So yeah, she was working me like a slave and I couldn't stand it, right? So while I was working out with a trainer who was good at working out, hard for me, but working out by myself works. It's because the way that she works out was a lot different than the way that my body responded to weight loss. You know what I'm talking about? But that's how people I feel like think about trading of scalpers, intraday traders, and swing traders. And then there's position traders too, but position traders are technically your hedge funds and stuff like that. Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, the big banks. They're basically that because they're holding it for decades at a time, But I want to adopt the same mindset that they have because as long as I've been trading, I've noticed the market throws the same two patterns over and over and over again, right? But when you're working out, you want to do reps. So you want to work out the same way, the same muscles over and over and over again. That's how I get bigger. The only way people are going to learn and how I learn to hold longer is to hold longer no matter what happens because I know that I'm following the rules of the market, if that makes sense. So when I first started working out, I promise you, I would work out. I would do 2 a days with this girl. I would cry every single time, and I couldn't lose anything. But that's because my ass will sit here and eat 2 DoorDash meals also to make myself feel better from all the running I did with her, right? And then just in case I didn't like one meal, I was so hungry because I knew she almost killed me that I would order 2 meals, and then if one meal was nasty, I would just refund it with DoorDash. But my fat ass would still eat both meals. So that's what I'm saying. Some people is doing the same work well, they believe they're doing the same work. I would show up to my sessions to work out and cry every time and still ruin my gains by eating 2 big ass DoorDash meals. You know what I'm talking about? What is going on? Why are y'all touching stuff? You're driving me crazy. I'm not going to fix this. I'm going to leave it right there. Stop touching stuff. Please. Um, what's it called? Yeah. So RDL versus the Y stance RDL. The RDL is the regular way that you can grow, glutes and hamstrings, so on and so forth. Everyone knows the RDL, but not many people talk about the wide stance RDL and the way that I'm trading in 2000, 25 going into 26. It's just longer holds, more patience, more weights, but we're doing it because we're trading off the margin of the account because we're following the rules of the market, right? So the RDLs itself, everyone talks about these, but the RDLs versus the Y stance RDLs is the Y stance RDLs. You gotta have your technique right, if that makes sense. It's your technique. Your technique is gonna be the difference. But both of these are still making you're still working out the same muscles. That's what's important about trading. So no matter what kind of trader you are, I feel like everyone still at some point has to learn the way that I trade because I don't have a strategy. I'm actually reading the entirety of the market and I want to take on the weights of the entirety of the market just like the hedge funds do, right? Does that make sense? Type a two in the chat if that makes sense, right? Because in I have been doing this the way that I trade really since 2021 because my first time ever doing it was actually on crypto. That year I did well that shit. I forgot about that. That was that year I did that 700 $700 going into 750K. And that was November 2020 going into 2021, right? So what's it called? But I did so outside of that crypto, I was trading crypto and I think it was on Hugo's Way, right? And Hugo's Way, is trading crypto, kind of like crypto futures, but it's the forex side of crypto. We wasn't trading liquid brokers to where it's not crypto futures, but it's just regular forex crypto. And I was trading Dash USD. I think some of y'all probably remember that. Dash USD, and then between it was I swear to God, it was like $150 account. The account blew to like -$8. It was the first time I did some shit like that. It blew to -$8, but the account between Friday night or Friday total, I looked at the last time Friday night, I was at like 1,000 and something dollars. And then the -8 account, but I had survived it the entire time. But by Saturday morning, waking up, I'm up like 25 bands. That's the first time I had done that. But the way that I've been trading is the same way I've been trading and anticipating and approaching the market since 2019. But I'm getting more confident. You know what I'm talking about? I have more clarity. I have more conviction in the market because I've been right so many times, right? So I've gotten to the point to where I don't necessarily have to use stop losses. Some pairs I know to use a stop loss depending on the size of the account and where we are. And that's why everything with trading, it depends. And that's the part that I think drives people crazy. But my life, as you guys know, my mom was schizophrenic. I damn near raised my sisters and I've been an adult for a long ass time, but it gave me my superpower. I mean, I got critical fucking thinking skills and I can anticipate the future because I can anticipate the future and I'm okay with not knowing what's going to happen, but I anticipate something that should work out in my favor. It's always been like that. My ex would used to say, I think something bad happened to your childhood because I've never seen anybody get to a point to where somebody fucks them over and their whole life falls apart. And I live a good life. I really do try to stay out the way. You know what I'm talking about? But that was me before I even got money. So the way that you are now is the way that you're gonna be with money. But now I might ask to sit here. Somebody piss me off. I'll sit here and armadillo in the house because I can hold up and shit. With resources, you can hold up for a hot ass minute without seeing somebody. You know what I'm talking about? You got a choice. So that's why it's like if anything changed about my life, everything would change, and I wouldn't have the anticipation skills that I have in the market because maybe something would have changed. Maybe I wouldn't have been this badass trader because trading isn't something that I thought of. It's something that I was introduced to, but I didn't have nobody in my circle, in my family, in my environment that was a trader, that was an investor. I remember specifically there was one time I was sitting in a circle with my mom and my grandma, and they were talking about the what was it? Social Security. They was talking about Social Security, and this was before I even started investing in stocks and stuff. So my first share I had bought of Tesla, and it was in like 2016, right? And I went to college, for the 1 month I went to college because I wanted they FAFSA money because I didn't have no fucking money. You know what I'm talking about? So I needed a car, so that's why I went to college to get a car. I didn't necessarily go to get money for college, but I forgot. I mean, I don't know why I started all those accounts, but it came from the conversation of my mom and grandma was talking about eventually the Social Security was going to run out, so on and so forth. My grandma, she on Social Security. My mom, she getting up there age. She eventually will be up there, you know what I'm talking about? If not sooner, and I don't know how all shit work, but you know what I'm talking about. And so they were talking about that. So I know that my mom, my grandma, my sisters, and some of my aunties, they all have master's degrees. But at the same time, I know how they live and they all work, right? They do well. I didn't grow up in the hood, but my thing for my family was mental health. I there was times when my mom was broke. Like I remember we didn't have no money. We was eating fucking peas. I fucking hate peas to this day. I can't stand peas. You can rob me with a pea, I promise you, because I don't want shit to do with them. Because we used to eat that, and she didn't have no money. Or we used to eat matzo meal when she didn't have any money. But I knew the way that I grew up and the way that my family was back then and is to now because their habits is just different. It's not that they didn't have the money, is that the money was being spent unwisely. And for the first part of my life, that's how I was doing it too. But once I realized there was a faster way to make money, and you can make money by putting your money somewhere in the money making itself, that's when I fell in love with it. So that came from my mom and grandma talking about Social Security. So I started doing shit different. So I bought my share of Tesla, and my first $20 I made on Tesla, I was down for it. A year after that, I started learning how to trade. So I started investing before I learned how to trade. But that's why I say even traders got to be great investors because investing and trading go hand in hand. But there's an investor mindset and there's a trading mindset, and there's a time and a place for everything. Type of three in the chat if that makes sense. I know I talk a little fast. I can't really. I've been talking fast my whole life. I don't know how to control that. But, it gets a lot of info out. So at the same time, what's it called? Having that conversation with my mom and grandma made my first couple dollars on Tesla. Eventually, I sell my Tesla share because the thing is, if you don't have your life together, it's not just gonna start. You're not just gonna get your life together by you starting trading, right? And that's where I am. Like the RDL versus the Y stance RDL. The RDL is me back then. The Y stance RDL is me now. Me back then, I needed to find out how to budget, right? I had to budget. I had to because budgeting, the money has to come from somewhere, right? If you don't have more money, you have to cut to make more money, if that makes sense. So because I knew that I was a restaurant server, I could typically make say $500 a week. Sometimes it was more. Like my first well, it was like my second restaurant job. No, it was my third. Papado Seafood Kitchen. I was making 100K a year at like 20 years old, but I didn't have the discipline I have with money now back then, right? I was at 19, 20. I'm over here spending it on booze and drugs. You know what time it was and food. I'm having a blast. By the time I get fired from that job, my whole life is falling apart. It only take a few weeks before I get evicted, power going off every motherfucking day, but I didn't have the discipline. The only way my life changed was from when I started investing. So after I get fired from Papa though, I'm pregnant with Ari, yada yada, boom boom bam. She almost get adopted, boom boom bam. Yeah, find family, decide to keep her, and then boom, I'm working at Brio's Husky Grill, right? Working at Brio's Husky Grill is when I first start learning how to trade. And that's where it's funny because I always tell people me learning how to trade was gonna happen regardless because it's like me thinking and looking back on it now. Justin Brother is the one that introduced us like to trading because he was the one that was at IML. I was never in IML until like the first 2 months of ever in my trading. So that was 2017 at November, shit going into 2018, but I don't have money to where I can't afford them. I can't even afford them. It was like $200 a month and we were splitting and we still couldn't afford it, right? So it's like because I had only had so much money that I was making at a restaurant and we had bills, the bills had to get cheaper, right? So you can't just start trading. And so that's why I'm telling you, so some people can't afford my mentorship because they haven't budgeted yet. You know what I'm talking about? But budgeting the first step into trading because if you can't get the money to invest, you're not going to be able to trade because I didn't know what I was doing back then, my accounts would get blown. I don't trade with stop losses because I know I'm right and I really don't be doing stupid shit in the market like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like even 6 to 8 weeks of the market trying to clap me, I still make bands here through the 6 to 8 weeks. I don't just necessarily grab it because I know the market can give you more, right? So it's like at the same time, people can't take as many risks. You don't get that many no's if you get a court appointed attorney. You don't get that as many no's as somebody that hire an attorney. So if I have my budget for my life right, then I can have a couple more no's than the average person. Type of four in the chat if that makes sense. So my budgeting came from I used to have cable, and so cable shit was like $200-300 a month. Have to get that shit out the way. That's shit. I'm coming up to $250 damn near because cable $200-300 a month. Wi-Fi by itself, and I still have Wi-Fi to this day. It's just $50-60 a month. So now I got more money to risk, and because I'm making 50 to 100 a day, because I shit, my first trade ever, was USDJPY. Real quick, for people that don't know me, is going to be it was an $800 account. That was my half of the rent money. Put a 5 lot on USDJPY, made $1,200 real quick. Pull that shit out, thinking I'm the fucking genius. I put all that shit back in. So what? That's like 2 grand. Hit it with another 5 lot. I'm talking about I don't know shit about trading now. I'm talking about I didn't do nothing but open an account and I'm over here clicking fucking buttons, made some money, and then 5 minutes later all that shit was gone. 1,200 gone, 800 gone, rent money gone, all that shit gone, car note gone, gone. So, but that is what awoken me. That's what I'm saying. Like it only took one time to want to keep investing in Tesla. Oh, I'm $20 in Tesla. Boom, never stopped investing. $1,200 in trading, and I lost it 5 minutes later. Boom, never fucking stopped. It don't matter to me because it only took that one time. So that's why to me, I love giving the world 30 days. Finna be 14, but I'm gonna be nice to give them 30 because it don't take no money out of my pocket, But they have to figure out before they get to me, before they start trying to speak to me, if they like, if this shit is for them because I knew right away this shit was for me. It don't take me long to know 2 plus 2 equals 3 and 2 plus 2 equals 3 because the 3 is your money needs to never leave investments. Your money needs to always be in assets. So working at Real Tuscan Grill, I'm good. Like the money is okay there, but it's not no fucking Britain. It's not no Papado money. That would, bro. If I didn't get fired for Papado, I would have never fucking stopped working there. I would have never stopped working there. Like I eat up there sometime. And the people I worked with 8 years ago, 9 years ago, shit, I don't know how long this been. I worked there and all. Well, shit, 10 years ago, I was like 20. I just turned 30 like 10 years ago. Some of them are still there. So in the last eight, I didn't change my entire life to where it's psh, we up here. You know what I'm talking about? We got free time. We got freedom. We got options. Right? We got choices in life. We done bought ourselves a voice. That's where it came down to. But that came from I didn't know it was going to happen. It just happened. I just keep going right, left. And then so it's like I just will pivot. Something don't work, I pivot. And that's how I got to where I am. So understanding that it's okay to be different, but you still got to look at the entirety of the market is going to be where the difference is. You got to understand who you are as a person, and you got to work out the muscles because why everybody know about the RDL, but some people booty is flat. That's what I'm saying. People know what to do. People know to do cardio. People know to lift weights. People know to eat right. People know to stay away from goddamn Twinkies and shit like that all the time. But some people make different choices. And that's why I gave the free trial because there ain't shit I could do about their choices. I can only continue to share the choices that I make. So that's the beginning because I'm finna consolidate all my tasks today. I don't even know. My life been just a little bit busy lately. Not too busy, but just a little bit busy to where I couldn't believe my Wi-Fi wasn't working on Thursday. I even brought my charger because we finna be on the Zoom for at least a couple hours. We got a lot to knock out. I literally have to mark up all the charts. Well, some of them. I don't have to mark up the dollar again. I want to leave that one. But I mean, y'all see, I got a lot of them to mark up because I was supposed to do it like last week and I didn't do it. I didn't have time. But y'all still with me? Y'all got time tonight? Type a five in the chat if you're gonna be with me tonight. But if you can't, I'm recording it anyway because I knew I kind of sprung it on everybody. I sprung it on myself too. Shit, I didn't even know until y'all knew. Hey Denard, how you doing? Glad y'all on. What's it called? All right, so that's the beginning. Boom, bam. YouTube out the way. Now let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the trading. Oh, I mean, but I can still tell y'all about my life. Trading is hard. So my budget in this shit, I had to knock off cable. Phone bill. I used to have Sprint, bro. I owe Sprint so much fucking money, and they ain't never getting it. I promise you, they not because they was low key scamming me, kind of like insurance scam. I could have shit as many times as I was paying my phone bill with Sprint that was higher shit, $200-300 a month because I also keep in mind, I've been taking care of my sisters for a long time, so it was on my phone bill, and I not making no money. Now I'm making money, but bills all constantly going up with inflation, right? And then shit, my expenses going up because I'm taking on other people, and now I'm pregnant with Aubrey, so she there, so expenses going up. So the money got to go from somewhere until the money go up too. So my money I had to cut it from Sprint. I would go from Sprint and I went to like Metro PCS and like who was it too? Oh, Boost Mobile. They're like the off-brand phone plans, right? And you could get them for like $50 a month. Now, I'm book smart and street smart. So I knew about capitalism and shit like that. So as long as you transferring a phone from another company, sometimes I couldn't afford my phone, even switching for Sprint at $50 a month. So I would just keep back and forth switching back every month. I swear to God, until I got stable because my money already wasn't enough to pay bills, but now I'm taking on extra risk in the market. I was smoking and stuff too, so I wasn't making good decisions with my money. But either way, I'm here now, so I get to tell everybody everything that I had to go through in order to get here, and it really started budgeting. So most people can't afford the signals because they haven't even got the budgeting part out of the way. But if you never get the budgeting part out of the way, making more money not gonna do you no justice anyway. Your ass is still gonna be broke. So you might as well find out before you really start trading or while you're trading how to cut those expenses because it's only gonna give you more opportunity because money is a tool. That's what brings me back to the beginning of I'm talking about like money has to you don't have to love money, but you do have to love that you can really buy your freedom by using money as a tool because slavery never ended. They just pay you a little bit. But just think about everybody that's like basketball players. How many basketball players after they get paid or stop playing, they go broke. You know what I'm talking about? But then think about how many millions of dollars that contracts be. Now think about the people we don't see playing. Think about the people that's actually playing, paying them the millions. They billionaires, bro. That probably fucking trillionaires. We just don't know about it. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I think about. That's where I want to be, but it has to come from a different mindset. Of my life did not change until I'm working at Brio Tuscan Grill and I'm starting to put two and two together. Of damn, why am I working like a fucking slave and I still can't get my shit right? Because I'm here at this point, so it's not like I'm BSing around. So why am I not able to get ahead? I had a checking account, bro. I had a checking account with BB&T. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that bank before. Shit, they off band bank. They was trash too. And I think I was late on my rent one time. Shit, for sure was late on my rent. And God sent me a blessing. I had put my rent money that was already gonna be short anyway. That's what I'm saying. My ex was right. The fucking Aubrey Daddy was talking about my life just be working out. Now that I'm thinking about this story, the shit was so funny. I didn't even have enough money in for rent. I just put that money in the bank. I swear to God, just like man, Lord help me. And that fucking ATM malfunction, bro. That shit. Oh my God, I was so happy. Malfunction. So then I gotta go inside the bank, tell them that shit malfunction, right? Thank God. I got the idea. I'm gonna lie to them. Was like, oh yeah, it's this amount because I didn't have enough for rent anyway. So y'all shit ate my shit anyway. It shouldn't have did that. So now y'all gotta pay me, right? So they had to pay me eventually because I was finna get evicted the next day. You have to go ahead and so life be working out, but I really think it comes from a point of I be making the right choices and I try to make the most responsible decision. But I also play a part in this world to where life do kind of gotta work out for you when you always consistently are doing your best to make the right choice. And making the right choice is understanding that assets is here and they've been here and they've been holding this entire world together, right? Because let's think about Walmart, goddamn Kroger, gas stations, fucking McDonald's, food places, houses and shit, rent places, different apartment buildings and stuff like that. How long have they been around? They're forever an asset because they forever are getting paid, right? And these assets and people are paying, they're paying companies, right? So if companies are always forever in business, right? They only go out of business if they didn't make enough money, right? That means that companies are in assets and assets hold up this entire world. And the dollar itself has been going down over a long period of time, not because the dollar itself matters. I'm not saying the dollar matters. Like, I just think of the dollar itself as maybe like a trade and barter system. Anything can be money. People just have to find value in it, right? Type of five in the chat if that makes sense. Anything can be money. People just got to find value in it. So that's why it's important, even bringing it full circle. If I started with stocks, got into getting my life together, investing, getting my bills in order and stuff like that, right? In order to free up money because I was only able to make 50 to 100 today. 100 a day at the restaurants was my goal. So if 100 a day at the restaurants my goal, and at that point too, I changed my schedule around too, and that's what I'm talking about, a pivot of typically people will want to work day shifts and stuff like that and have the night off. But because the way the market worked, the daytime would be the best time to trade the market. And as a new trader, I wasn't as skilled at at timing my entries and stuff like that. So I thought I had to be available. I wasn't skilled at holding my entries and shit either, so I thought I had to be available the entire US session in order to make money. But I'm not even looking at the market the entire time, but the money itself is moving the entire time, if that makes sense. So that's why I like the way things are now, because it's really for people that have a busy schedule. You know what I'm talking about? But I wanted to do the real world stance of it for y'all, because I think that's the part that people be missing. I was an actual person before I started trading, and trading itself is just a glorified 9 to 5. Of, even like I said, if you don't budget and you start making more money, your ass still gonna struggle. I swear to God, I was watching Dave Ramsey the other day, and he had this somebody online on there, and he was talking about how they had a $40 million net worth, and them niggas was living paycheck to paycheck, and I just couldn't believe it, because it don't make no logical sense to me, because like I wasn't a financial person, but I learned finances. You know what I'm talking about? So the fact that they have a $40 million net worth, and they ask living paycheck to paycheck because they over here can't get the fuck off the private jets that they obviously can't afford, and they can't let go of the fucking vacation houses, got more than one, got multiple fucking, that pick which one you want to. You don't need all that shit. That's how I am, because to me money got me to where I am because I invested it. So investing it gave me more tools in order to make more money. So I only want the money for the freedom. Like, I'm a trader that live a very regular life. I live in the suburbs. My daughter is homeschooled. She is in third grade ish. You know what I'm talking about? All that kind of stuff. I make dinner. I work out. I have fuck 6 dogs. They feel like 1,000 dogs, but I live a regular life because it was never about the guru shit to me. Like, I never even was online really up until shit. Damn near I made my first $1 million, because I didn't even know to think about that shit. That's how far in the matrix I was. Like, I wasn't on no internet like that. I was trying to survive. My electricity was going out every day. You think I got time to get on the internet every day? I can't even charge my fucking phone. That's so, to me, when people quit trading, I think it's fucking stupid, first off. Second off, you don't have no other choice. Like, oh, I quit trading. I'm finna go back to work and ask for $1 raise a year. Shut the fuck up. Like, come on now. Like, that's where I'm at. So it's like, even though this shit is hard, it's something that has to be done, and you don't even have to quit your job in order to trade, but you need something to supplement your income, or you gonna forever try and be cutting bills like I had to do. I had to cut bills. I was switching from Boost to Sprint, and to, well, from Sprint to Boost to Metro PCS. But those, how do you say? Um I mean, the service was bad. My phone, I couldn't even really talk on the phone and text at the same time. So that's what I'm saying. You get more options and a better quality of life once you get your finances in order. And that comes from a point of learning how to trade. And that comes from the point of, hang on, let me share my screen, close whiteboard. Yes, close that, screens. And so you got to make a choice. So if we just did the full circle, now it's time to bring it to the charts. The charts is exactly what I said. Businesses have been in business for a long ass time. Walmart, well, shit, I don't think there's no Kmart's. There are no Kmart's in Texas, I don't believe, but I don't think Kmart around no more. Blockbuster not around no more. McDonald's still around. Burger King still around. Stuff like that. So the businesses you see are the businesses that are continuing to make money, and they are a continuous asset to people. You know what I'm talking about? But people have to eat. People have to buy products. What I do is hard, and that's why I just took on a private student in Houston, and we were talking about why I started teaching. And I never started teaching for the love of it, because as y'all know, I don't even like people that much. I love people, right? I'm a great time. When people meet me in person, I promise you I'm the life of the party. I always got something to talk about. I'm very amusing, very energetic, but I'm very serious about money. And when people are not serious about money, that's the only part that irks me, to where I don't even want to know they money habits and stuff, because it's gonna irk the fuck out of me, because I'm gonna have something to say, and they gonna feel like that they gonna have something to say, and then I'm gonna feel like what they have to say is not valid because I have more of it. So I'm doing something right because of where I came from. Like, come on, we just went full circle for 40 minutes. Come on now, you know what I'm talking about? Type of two in the chat if that makes sense. So that's where it all come down to. of I get more say so when I've done more in life, and I could walk up to somebody and tell them everything I've done in this world and what I've flipped this account, that account, what I've invested in. I got an opportunity right now. In Texas, this dude, well, he was hitting me up about a title transfer, and it's like 10.5 acres, but he want 30K for the title transfer. That's that shit if I sit there in my pocket, right? And then honestly, like $100 account is I feel like it's what started me. Like I feel like it started my entire journey because I was only making 50 to $100 a day.